Hey everyone, Phoenix Spring Tarot here. So, I've done many Britney Spears readings on this channel. I mean, we were Free Britney before the Free Britney movement really began to take hold. And in a number of my readings, we've predicted Britney being released from her conservatorship. We also predicted and alluded to here the criminal and human rights abuse that she suffered in the conservatorship, principally from her parents, her handlers, in particular her father. That's what's come through. We predicted her not saying that she wouldn't perform until she was released from her conservatorship, and the fact that her parents and her handlers could be brought up, particularly her father, on criminal charges, right? So a lot of these we've predicted. However, there are two predictions that I've made that still haven't come through yet. And that is, number one, her father's care actually, and her father and the way he ran the conservatorship actually contributing to her mental decline. That is her father and her handlers. And also I'd raised in my very last reading that if she married Sam, it would be more, there would be a strategic component in that, because she would be doing it from a strategic perspective, because there would be a pending legal case that would be brought against her. Now, those predictions, I made last year. The one about her father and her mental decline I made about a year ago, and the one about her marrying Sam I made about November 2021. So these two, one of these predictions, the second one, in terms of her marrying Sam and legal proceedings being brought around the same time, that has finally come through, because that's what we're seeing now. So a petition was filed in May 2022, so about a month ago, by Britney's lawyer, Rosengarth, for Jamie to be deposed in ongoing legal battles since the conservatorship was dissolved, because what they wanted Jamie to attest to was abuse of his conservatorship regulations, particularly in managing her finances. However, since Britney's filing, Jamie Spears has not attended any scheduled depositions as required by law. Apparently, he's been dodging and stonewalling this for months. And as a matter of fact, what has happened now, just about a day or 2 days ago, he's now made his own counterclaim against Britney, wanting her to be deposed for a social media smear campaign he's alleging that Britney has made against him. Right, so that is what's prompted me to do this reading, because it's sort of one of the predictions we made last year in November, as I said before, is coming through. So what we're going to do in this reading is just tap into the current energies and just to see what's going on with her. Now, here's a disclaimer bit that's really important before I go on. Know that when I'm doing this readings, as with all readings in my channel, there is no judgment here. I'm not judging anyone. I'm not taking any sides or anything like that. All my messages delivered in this reading are alleged until they're proven fact. Also, particularly because we're dealing with mental health, which is a sensitive issue, if you think that you'd be offended by any of my messages around it, particularly from a spiritual perspective, I suggest that this may not be the reading for you, and another reading on my channel may be more appropriate. Also, messages raised in this reading are not a substitute for seeking advice or consultation from a medical professional. And lastly, just know that I'm an intuitive empath. I'm clairsentient, that meaning that I acquire my knowledge through feeling. I'm very sensitive to people's feelings and energies, and also I'm claircognizant, clairaudient. All right, so this reading, what will be, so that's the disclaimer out of the way. So let's get stuck into the reading. So with this reading, we're going to start with just generally tuning into Britney's energy. She's had a lot going on in the past few months. So it's been reported that she had a miscarriage, and that's the thing, I never saw her pregnant. That was also what I did mention in previous readings. I just never saw it. So we're going to look into that. We're going to look about how she feels about the wedding and the energy around that wedding. And okay. We have a jumper. Also, we're going to look at her, there were guests at her wedding like Madonna, Donatella, Selena, Drew Barrymore. You know, did she have on Paris Hilton? Did she had ongoing relationships with these guests? We're going to look at her father bringing charges of defamation against her. Clearly, her sons weren't there. So what's going on there? And also, what does Sam feel about all of this? Okay. Now, right off the bat, bottom of the deck I was drawn to, and the Eight of Swords, which jumped out. This is something, and a lot of people have vilified me for saying this in my readings, but I've always been consistent with this message, which is Britney is not all the way there in terms of her mental health. I've always said that. However, she's not as bad as was made out, number one. And number two, it wasn't as bad as to justify the strictness of the conservatorship. All right, so this is something that I've always said about her. She's not all the way there. It's interesting, this has jumped out as an energy. Also, what we have at the bottom of the deck is the Death card. And what this symbolizes is, this is really for her. I'm being drawn to, because she's Sagittarius, I'm being drawn to last year she had a solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. And I really feel that this is a new cycle for her. And she's really beginning to believe it. She's really beginning to embrace it. She's really, and I'm hearing the word confidence. Like I'm hearing the word that she is, like, this is the start of a new life. I'm hearing the word confidence and normal, where she has the ability to create her new normal now. What is that going to mean for her? You know, this is really the start of a new chapter for her, but it's almost as if she's very childlike in her way and her approach, which we've seen in her social media. And we look into that a bit more. Okay, so we're into her energy. So let's just see what else has come through. Okay, let's look at the miscarriage first. So we got those Eight of Swords, and oh, for goodness sake. When my cards start jumping like that, okay. So when we said let's look at the miscarriage, we have the Lovers, which has jumped out. And we also have the Three of Cups. So this is telling me the Three of Cups, when it's upright, is of course for celebration. Here it's reversed. So it's telling me this is something that they were really trying for, both of them, her and Sam. It's something that she really wanted and was really disheartened by it not coming through. So I am picking up here that there was, let me just see what other further cards that could come through. Also, can I just say that between Sam and Britney, their union is spiritually guided, spiritually ordained. They're two very spiritual people. They have a lot of strong spiritual guidance on both their sides. And this was something that I picked up when I have done readings about Sam in the past. I've found it very difficult to tune into his energy. It's almost as if Sam is a non-entity and that he's not there almost when I'm trying to channel him in readings. And that always puzzled me. And I feel the reason why is almost because, and this Lover's card has confirmed it, particularly my guides are drawing me to this angel that we see here. I feel that particularly through her conservative, and now he's almost like a protector of hers. It's almost as if he is meant to be invisible. That's how his energy is meant to be, because it's almost like he's a spiritual protector for her. Like he's been spiritually placed in her life to look out for her in a gentle sort of way, in the way she needs to be looked after. And I'm just hearing the way she needs to be looked after and gentle, though, and to describe him and almost like he's an angel protector, spiritually ordained. That's just what I'm picking up when it comes to him, just there from the Lover's card. Okay, let's see what else. I don't want this reading to be very long, so we're just going to be touching on the energies we pick up. Let's see what else we pick up regarding her miscarriage. Yeah, there we go. That's it. We have the Two. So when we have an Ace of Cups, this is always about new starts, new beginnings, coming up from a space of love, because water is always a lot of emotion and love and so on. So to get the Ace of Cups next to the Three of Cups reverse, So that could mean that she was probably 3 months along or approaching 3 months when this fell through. But they're going to be trying for another child again. That has come through. So that miscarriage did happen approximately, give or take, when she was about a couple of months along. I'm seeing 3-4 months along it could be, and then she lost the child, but they will be trying for another one. Don't be surprised if she mentions another pregnancy coming up. Don't be surprised about that. She's still trying for another. Okay, she's trying. Okay, so that is how she's putting on a brave face about it as well. She's putting on a brave face about it. I'm being told intuitively something about medication and her being aware of the type of medication that she's on, and possibly having to look into that and change that, which would help her hormonal balance. That's another message that has come through for me with this Nine of Pentacles. Now this is, we have the Death card again. So this is something that I'm picking up here with her. We're moving on from miscarriage now. We're going on to her new life since the end of the conservatorship. So that's what the guides want to move on to. This is Matthew Rosengarth, by the way. So she has, the thing that I always said about Britney is that she's like a child. Now, I'm not saying that to criticize her whatsoever. Put yourself in her shoes. You know, if you've been under such heavy conservatorship, like a bird in a gilded cage, for over 10 years, and you finally get your release, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself. So I'm just saying it from that perspective. I'm not judging. So when I say she's very childlike, in that she doesn't know, she lacks that maturity for her age and that ability to judge and discern what it is that she wants, right from wrong, etc. Simply because she just hasn't had the opportunity to have that life experience because she's been caught up in that conservatorship. So now that she's free, she's released, and she's there to enjoy her freedom, it's her trying to decide at this point, what does that mean for her? What shape is it going to take? And she's going to make a few mistakes along the way. But I feel that these mistakes that she's making is just part of her moving on. We've had a lot of years to make mistakes that in our own lives that people wouldn't even know. But with her being on such a public platform, she would be so harshly judged for it. There is almost an indecision or a paranoia about the media, the press, what people think of her. Because she knows with this Nine of Pentacles, she knows that everyone is looking at her. She knows that everyone is looking at the decisions and the choices that she makes and how she acts and so on. And that is putting her under a bit of pressure. She is feeling that pressure. That's come through very strongly because she doesn't want to make any mistakes, and she doesn't want to be judged, and she doesn't want to disappoint anyone who has been supporting her. But with this Death card, she is, what I'm being told is that she, in terms of moving on, there would be mistakes that's going to be made. I think I'm speaking in circles, but you get the point I'm making, in that she is going to make mistakes. She is going to have errors in judgment, simply because it takes, you need to make those errors. It's life. You know, that's how I'm going to say it, because I want this to be a short reading. I don't want to go on about it too much, and I hope you guys get the point that I'm making. She has made a few mistakes since, and I feel that Matthew Rosengarth here, because he's come through, he's coming through as, in fact, I'm just going to check what star sign he is, whether he's a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or whether he has a lot of water in his chart, because what is coming through is someone very, even though there may be a lot of chaos around, and there's a lot of chaos around with her as well, especially with Cups. Remember I said at the beginning, Cups is emotions. So she's very up and down and all around, and like a little child you have to pin down. But in the midst of all of that, he is her, Rosengarth is her stability. He is her rock. He is the balanced one. He is the one who is able to he's almost like a temperate sort of person. He's able to balance out all the emotions with kindness, just having her back, just being there for her, just giving her a steer and giving her a sense of direction to navigate these challenges, right? He is really her truth sayer. That's, I'm just hearing the word truth sayer from my guides. Okay, so as we are on her new life and her new cycle, again, this new life and new cycle since the solar eclipse, we have the death card. Let's see what else is coming through. What else do we need to say about her? Anything else regarding her lawyer? And let's go into Jamie at the moment, actually. What else regarding her lawyer and Jamie Spears and these new defamation charges about tarnishing his reputation on social media? I'm being told as I'm shuffling that he is trying to shame her. There are certain things about Britney that he knows, Jamie Spears knows, shouldn't be released. That way, there we go. He's trying to shame her. Right? He's coming in really hot, really heavy. He is trying to shame her. He knows that there are certain things about her, and he is ready to throw his daughter completely under the bus. He's ready to do that. He knows that there are certain things that would really embarrass her and would change people's opinion of her if it was released. So he is trying to hold her head over a barrel. That is what is happening. Now, interestingly, what is coming up here is that when it comes to, he wanted something from them, something from the Spears camp. Now, in the papers, I think this is alluding to either legal fees or lawyer fees or something like that. However, it appears in the press that he didn't get any money in settlement of that. But what's coming through here is that he did. He was given an offer. Jamie Spears was given an offer. That is coming through here. It hasn't been released in the press, but he was given an offer. However, he rejected that offer of the monies that they were giving him because in his opinion, it wasn't good enough, it wasn't high enough, whatever it is, but he rejected that offer. He is out for blood against his daughter. It's crazy, but he is willing. He doesn't see himself as doing anything wrong. And he is willing to throw her under the bus for that. He is willing to be a pain in her side. He is not happy with that union, with her marriage with Sam and that sort of thing. He has a few choice words to say about Sam as well. He's not happy about that whatsoever. And in fact, that union, he sees it from the strategic angle and approach that it was taken from, and he's very angry about that. As a matter of fact, if in that deposition, he would have probably tried to depose Sam and get Sam to say things against Britney, if that makes any sense. I'm just channeling the messages that I'm hearing. So guys, tell me down below whether that makes any sense, whether that's possible, etc. But that's just what I'm seeing. Ha 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 ha. What did I say about legal stuff? I was just talking about her lawyer just here. Yeah, this is what I was saying all the time about their marriage. It was part of that marriage. I'm not saying that Britney doesn't love Sam, that sort of thing, but part of it is a strategic move. We have justice coming through here. And that justice, remember I was talking about Britney making mistakes up here? That and also Nine of Pentacles is also about someone who has a lot of attention, who is in the public eye. And remember, I put these two cards together earlier, being in the public and making a lot of choices but making mistakes as well. So just under these two cards we have the Justice, and that's what I was saying. It's about claims being brought about. It's about someone in a public figure who has misstepped and being held, Jamie wanting to hold Britney to account, so serving her legal papers and legal documents. Interestingly enough, now Jamie Spears, he's of a particular age, and the age he is at, you would expect to see a king or someone of status and someone of authority. You're not seeing that with his energy. His energy is a knight. So he has a very... what is coming through here is that he's very flighty, he's very hot-tempered. You know, Knight of Swords, they're very hot-tempered, they're very off the cuff. He is out for blood against his daughter, and I cannot say that like he's just seeing red when it comes to her. Even if they offer him anything, he would not take it. I'm sorry for saying this, but it's almost as if he wants to ruin his daughter. He wants to cut off his nose in spite of his face. Like he's just seeing red at the moment is what I'm picking up with Jamie Spears. But the thing is, her lawyer, Matthew, Britney's lawyer, you have a knight going up against a king. Okay? So what I'm seeing here, let's see what the outcome of these legal issues are going to be. This was at the bottom of the deck. It wanted to come out, and I've shuffled it. It's jumped out again. So it wants me to take, they want me to take this card. This is going to be a torn in Britney's side. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a real torn in Britney's side. Britney would have to really think strategically about whether she wants to be dragged through this deposition stuff with her father, or whether she wants to let bygones be bygones. This situation, this legal situation could turn, you know, like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, where both sides get slung under the mud. And even though Johnny has come out fairly all right, but there was still a lot of stuff that was revealed which we just didn't need to hear. This is what could happen here as well. I'm sorry to say this, guys, but she has to really think long and hard about this. Now, Britney has been done wrong. I've always said that for a number of my readings. She has been done wrong, but there are certain things that, certain information they have on her that if it was revealed, it could tarnish her image. That's what I'm saying, and that's what I picked up very early on at the beginning of this. Okay, what else in addition to this Ten of Wands? What else could we pick up with this court case? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the Page of Swords. It's going to turn. We have the Page of Swords, the Two of Swords, next to the Ten of Wands. This could really, and then we have the Hierophant of the deck. This could really turn nasty. I'm sorry. This could really turn not the best for her. Again, with this Two of Swords, there are certain things about her which they wouldn't want people to see, which they wouldn't want people to know. And also what they would do in the press as well, that is Jamie Spears' side, they would start a smear campaign about her in the media. He is all set to do that. Remember I said he's hot-headed, he's very childish, because this is a knight. A knight is like someone in his 20s. He, like Jamie Spears, is so seeing red and spitting blood over his daughter. He would drag his daughter. Like, he's the, oh, I can't say that enough. And this is that social media campaign that they would be doing against her. In fact, it's already started. But interesting, Matthew wrote her lawyer, Britney's lawyer. Sorry, I have so many messages coming to me. I've forgotten his name. But he doesn't really play those games. He doesn't play those childish social media games. He is above that, so to speak. You know, but that is Matthew's blind spot. Like, if he, like, in a way, he needs to know how to play that social media game on Britney's behalf, because a lot of things is Rosengarth, that's his name, because a lot of things at the moment is justice by public opinion, is a court of public opinion these days, right? So what this is saying is that Rosengarth had better pick up quick how to get in front of things that are going to be leaked to the press, which would look bad for Britney. Okay, what else? Anything else regarding this upcoming court case? Would they settle? Would they, like, what is the outcome? What is the outcome regarding James Spears in this court case? Because he was offered money already, but he didn't want, oh God, he didn't want it. Oh God. Here we go. King of Swords. So we have two kings now. This is Jamie's lawyer coming into the fray. here, and then we have the Four of Swords under the deck. It could be very well that they may settle this. They may settle it in a couple of months' time, because there is something, as I said before, with this Two of Swords, we have the Four of Swords. There's something regarding Britney that they wouldn't want to get out there. Something, especially with Judgment, there is something. Mind you, Jamie would not come out of this smelling of roses either. Not at all. And a lot of people, and if let's say this went through the court, there would be a lot of people who would have a lot of things to say about Jamie. A lot of people are going to be coming out of the woodwork to say a lot of things about him. I'm hearing the word jail time. With a lot of him and his handlers, I'm hearing jail time. And I've heard this, Britney's handlers rather, and I've heard this for a while. People could come out and start singing about him, and he could be facing jail time. But it's a matter that there's certain things about Britney which they don't want to get out. And that's the tug at the moment. That's the tug. And it's going to burn Britney if she doesn't get her justice either. Okay. Yeah, Hierophant reverse. Remember I said this Hierophant card wanted to come out before? It's reverse. That is what they're saying. They're thinking that if they did go to court, you're leaving yourself open and vulnerable to the court of public opinion. And that is what they're wary of. Britney's side, that is what they're wary of. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now, because I want to go on to other messages, and I don't want the legal issue to take up all of this. But yeah, that does not look, that legal stuff doesn't look good. Rosenberg, he's a very good lawyer though. Rosengoth, sorry, he is a very good lawyer. Let me try another deck. Okay, so let's go on to Britney's marriage. Let's go on to Britney's marriage to, so what have we done? We've looked at, I have a list. So we looked at the miscarriage, we looked at the defamation case. So let's look at the marriage, and let's look at Sam, and let's look at her sons not being there and her relationship with the gas. Let's look at that in the next few minutes, because I do not want this to be long. Okay, so what can we say about this wedding ceremony? I'm picking up, as I'm shuffling, Jamie Lynn Spears, Britney's sister. She feels slighted by this. I'm being told something about her book. Her book didn't make as much money as she expected it to make, apparently. Yeah. There is, but she has something else in the works. Like Jamie Lynn's come through very prominently. She has something else in the works about Britney. It's almost as if the gloves are off. There's something else that she's trying to peddle about Britney to bring in money. That's, you know, when she was looking on at this wedding. The world. Yeah. This is really... She was so happy. I am just seeing pure happiness, her being on cloud 9 on this day with the world. It's really, I feel that for her choosing to marry, it's really, the world is talking about the end of one cycle and moving on to the next. And that is how she feels. She really felt on a high, like she was dancing on a cloud, that she was untouchable. I mean, this wedding was truly, yeah, it may have been partly strategic, but she does love him, and she was really happy on this moment. It was like her fairy tale moment that she was able to have. Now, what about, let's just look into a bit more about this. For goodness sake. Guys, when spirit guides want me to choose particular cards, they have a tendency to like to chuck things on the floor. Okay, yep, 3 of Wands. It's almost as if now we have 3 of Wands, we have 9 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. As I said before, she is not all the way there. She does suffer from anxiety, like getting up in the night. Sometimes she doesn't know where she is. She doesn't know what's going on. There is that coming through. But for the most part, I would say she's a very grounded person. She's a very strong person. She's a very courageous, earthy person. Like with this Three of Wands with the Lion, you know, she's like a typical Sagittarius, right? She would not be tamed. She is... And remember I said before about being very spiritual? She's a very spiritual person also. There are lots of, I think for her ending this cycle and moving into the next, I'm meant to be talking about marriage, but they want me to talk about this, so I would. It's as if she's coming into her spiritual awareness a lot more as well. And like this experience has opened up her chakras. Like I'm seeing her third eye chakra. She may be clairaudient or claircognizant, Britney. Literally, like she is that sort of, like she could be a psychic, intuitive. She is that sort of powerful spiritual person is what I'm picking up here. It's almost as if she has a connection with the divine, like a connection with a higher purpose, like, and she knows it. That's the thing, she knows it as well. It's almost, how should I put this? Like she's almost aware of her being a transient being, a spiritual being having a human experience. Like she's very aware of that. She's just so grounded now. Okay, marriage. Her marriage to Sam. Let's look into that. Her marriage to Sam. Like she can look at you and see your auras and a lot of that. And a lot of that has taken her through. She relies on a lot of that to take her through. Okay, her marriage. Oh God, Two of Pentacles. Her marriage to Sam. You know, I'm being shown with this Two of Pentacles, there is something about prenup or something like that, which we know. So it's not to say that Sam is in it for the money or anything like that, because there ain't really any money to be got. She had a lot of fun at her wedding. There was a lot of adulation for her. There was a lot of love for her. Let me see, does she know these people? Because there have been a few rumors that she just invited people she was fangirling on, and whether she knew these people or not. These people, yeah, that's what I thought. I literally said that and it's come up with the Five of Pentacles. These are people, she sort of invited people she admired from afar. These are people, if she was allowed to, she would have had a closer relationship with them. But it was almost as if I'll invite some people to a party that I don't know really well. But those people, to be fair, are giving her a lot of love. You know, but yeah, a lot of these people who are at her wedding, I'm sorry to say this, but she didn't really know them very closely. She knew them from a distance, is what I'm picking up on. But they were very... But they are the people she invited are the sort of people who they understand, they truly understand where Britney has come, where Britney has been, what she's been through, where she's come from, and they're there to protect her, right? It's almost as if I'm being told and I'm being shown that that room was filled with a lot of, I'm sorry to say this again, but like angels, like her soul tribe, her soul group, right? Like there's a visceral human connection. So even if she didn't really know them, it doesn't matter. And I want to do a tutorial about that. I have it on my schedule before the end of this year to talk about how soul groups work and how you can know someone without really knowing someone. You know what it's like as well? It's almost as if, you know, when you haven't spoken to a friend for a very long time, for years upon years upon years, and then you meet them and you instantly just fall into a groove, like you knew each other, like you spoke to each other yesterday. Even though she doesn't know these people, Britney is such a spiritual person, as we're saying up here. She knows how to bring her soul tribe together, and they are those sort of people, like the Selena Gomez, the Drew Barrymores. Does she really know them? No. But it's almost as if from past lives they've known each other. They're a soul tribe. So yeah, I wouldn't labor that point anymore. And now we have the Hermit reverse. And that's what I'm saying about her. It's like almost as if this wedding, she took this wedding as an opportunity just to sort of either rekindle or create new friendships, new relationships. So let's kick things off with a party and let's keep going. So we have the Hermit. The Hermit is reversed, so she's not going to be in isolation anymore. She's just ready to get out there. Now notice we haven't really seen Sam's energy in these cards, right? We haven't seen his energy. That is what I've been saying for past readings. Whenever I'm doing a reading, Sam's energy does not come up. It does not. I've always said that about him in readings. He only came up in the Lovers card at the very beginning. That was it. It's very difficult to get his energy. We have the Hangman, but we have the Two of Cups reverse. There is a soulmate energy going on here. This is a divine guidance. This is a protection sort of energy, as I said at the beginning, because he only came up with the Lovers. Now, so this was his card that represented him. Again, when I was picking up on Sam's energy, I was picking up on the Angel. In terms of normal Rider-Waite, for those of you who don't know, the Two of Cups looks like this, and I'm going to take time to find it because there's a point that I want to prove, which is what I've been saying about Sam. Just one moment. Mind you, whenever I think of Sam, I always think of him as not the brightest, not the sharpest pencil in a box. I've always said that about Sam, but he is in her life for a reason. Like, where is the, oh gosh, I think I've passed it. I'm so sorry guys, but this point is really important to make. Because the reason why I want to get the Two of Cups in the traditional Rider-Waite is because that card has the Angel as well between them. That's what I want to show. So I think it's really interesting that we have, I don't know why I can't find this Two of Cups in this pile, but please just take it from me that the traditional Rider-Waite also had another Angel, you know, and this is what I've been saying about her energies, almost as if he's her protector, that he was meant to be here by her side to look after her. And I'm seeing with his energy that there's a Hangman as well. And I feel with this Hangman energy, he is not meant to be taking the limelight. He is not, even though he is in the limelight of such, but he is almost as if he's there for her. That's because I'm seeing these angels again whenever I speak about him. That's why I can't pick up on his energy. Okay, what about her sons? What's going on with her sons? Why weren't her sons at the wedding? Why weren't her sons at the wedding? Why weren't her sons at the wedding? They love her dearly is what I'm picking up on. They almost feel, but it's a pity sort of love is what I'm picking up on. It's a really sweet love that they have for her. It's a protective sort of love they have for her. It's a pity sort of love as well. I'm picking up as I'm shuffling that they felt that this was happening too soon. Like they felt a lot of things are happening too soon. They don't see the reason why she's rushing to go through with this wedding. It goes without saying that they hate Jamie Spears. They hate him with a fire and passion with all of their being. They hate him. That goes without saying. But I feel that from their perspective, they felt, yeah, they felt it was just a little bit too soon. I'm also picking up on this because this is a betrayal energy as well when it comes to her sons. How should I put this? They were not supportive of this. And it hurt Britney as well that they were not supportive of this. Why were they not supportive of it? There's a betrayal energy here. Why were they not so... I'm being told that they found out about it last minute. It's almost as if they didn't hear, her sons didn't hear about the wedding in the right way. Like they heard about it last minute or something like that. And then it was just like, what? And there was hurt there. And I don't think Britney really got or understood where they're coming from. Yeah, there we go. These young men, you know, they were really hurt by that. That's talking about both sides feel that one betrayed the other, so to speak. Both sides, like there's a breakdown there with her and her sons. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. It's not anything that is going to last. I feel that, there we go, Ten of Deck, her and her sons. It's not to say that, yeah, and then the Five of Swords underneath. There were exchange of words. They felt as if they're on the outside looking in when it comes to their mother's new life. It was something that happened in terms of relaying the information about the marriage and so on. It's as if they found out about it, either her sons found out about it by accident, or they found out about it as a by the way, or they had spoken to Britney and said, look, you know, you're moving too fast here, Mum. Could you slow down? Could you, you know, there's also picking up that she should be spending more time with them, more time with her sons, and apparently she's not doing that. So there's a lot of hurt going on about that as well. And this is their hurt feelings here with the Five of Swords. There is hurt feelings going on there. There is this sort of thing, well, I'm your mother, you need to respect me. And it's very tough when someone acts, it's almost when I'm being told in my mind's eye, and I'm going to finish on this message. It's like when you have someone who's suffering from dementia or Parkinson's, many times you could be speaking to them and they act as though they're in their right mind, and they speak as though they're in their right mind, but many times they're not. And it's very difficult to ascertain which is what. And that goes on many times in conversations with her and her sons. It's not to say that she doesn't love them, but it's coming through here that the relationship with them is very fraught. Last messages regarding Britney. It's Britney, bitch. Okay, so we've talked about her sons, we've talked about her father, we've talked about relationship with the wedding guest, how she felt about the wedding, we've talked about the miscarriage, we've talked about her legal ish. 3 last cards to wrap up this reading, 3 final messages that we should know about Miss Spears herself. I feel I want to talk about the life lessons. What life lessons? I think that's a better question. So what life lessons could we glean from Britney's situation? Why is this playing out in front of us? What could we learn from her? King of Pentacles. Five of Cups. And one more card. I'll take that page. Okay, and under the deck, Nine of Wands. That's Britney and her freedom. Now, these 3 cards, what I'm asking is, what messages could we glean from this? And what message I'm being told here is that all that glitters is not gold. Right? You could be sitting down somewhere and you could have all the riches in the world, but you could be act as though you're financially poor and be emotionally poor as well. You know, so it's the parting message is not everything is status and notoriety and everything else. There is a lot more to life that are very much intangible. Many of us take it for granted, but it's what people viewing this reading are here to understand, is that it's a matter of having your emotional self and your emotional sanity, I would say, and the finite. What am I trying to say? Come on, explain this to me, guys. I think I said it best when I said it the first time round. All that glitters is not gold. You know, you could be in a position where you have everything that money could give. You could have all the notoriety, you could have the money, you could have everything else, but you could still act, or in yourself, in your head, perceive that you're poor because you lack the maturity to really do anything with that money or make a difference with the money. And you could also be emotionally bedridden as well. You know, so all that glitters isn't gold. And what really is, nothing compares to your freedom and having the freedom of choice. And I'm being told a final message as well, that, you know, many times when, particularly looking at tarot readings, etc., is always knowing that nothing is set in stone. What is the best gift that we've been given is, in any situation at any point in our lives, we have a choice that we could make. We choose, we dictate, we control our futures. We make it and create our futures from this point, right? And that is the beautiful freedom that we've been given. And imagine having that freedom taken away from you. And I'm hearing this Britney song, they could take everything away from you, but they can never take away your truth. Da, 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 da. But the question is, can you handle mine? And on that note, I will end this Britney reading. I hope you guys had something positive that you could take away from it. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in future readings. Okay, bye for now.